الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله وكفى والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. Brothers and sisters in Islam, Alhamdulillah, inshallah today we will be continuing the journey of the Holy Quran from the 6th juz, the beginning of the 6th juz, all the way to the quarter into the 7th juz, inshallah. For all of you who may not know the schedule of the Hufaz, for the first 16 days they recite 1 1/4. So inshallah in 16 days they would have completed 20 juz. After which it's 1 juz a day, and for 8 days, and on the 9th and 10th day it's half a juz, respectfully on both days. So inshallah we can anticipate the Khatm al-Quran inshallah on the Friday night, which will be the last Friday of this month inshallah. Moving forward, there's a lot to discuss, and as we try to summarize some points that we may reflect upon during the course of the prayer, and inshallah make it a point of effort for our lives, especially in this blessed month of Ramadan. I want to begin with the 147th verse, which was the last verse recited last night. The last verse that was recited last night is مَا يَفْعَلُ اللَّهُ بِعَذَابِكُمْ. What would Allah get from punishing you? Many a times people, especially in our culture, and especially in our homes, they tend to pass judgment on each other by stating that if something's happening wrong in someone's life, it's Allah's punishment on them. To the extent we say that to our own children, that this is the punishment of Allah, you better make yourself a better person. First of all, none of us have the authority to claim that something is Allah's punishment. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sends eye-openers in this world. Allah will send situations, earthquakes, whatever. It's an eye-opener, it's a lesson, it's a sign. But the punishment of Allah is severe. Adhabullahi la shadeed. Allah's punishment is severe. Allah's punishment is such that no one is left. So we should be very careful when we use the term Allah's punishing you, or this is the punishment of Allah because you're not praying, or since you used to cheat people, see Allah's got you now. We should not say this. Yes, Allah may send signs, situations, circumstances, what makes the servant of His repent to Him. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is making very clear here for the ummah, مَا يَفْعَلُ اللَّهُ بِعَذَابِكُمْ إِن شَكَرْتُمْ وَآمَنْتُمْ. Allah would not get anything from punishing you if you are grateful to Allah. What is the first thing, everyone? Gratefulness, gratitude. If we have gratitude in our life, and we live our life with a symbol of faith, what would Allah get from punishing you? So does that mean that if I am not a person of faith or I'm ungrateful, Allah's punishing me? No. It means that you are taking away Allah's blessings from you, hence you're punishing yourself. Does that make sense? You're punishing yourself because when we stop expressing our gratitude to Allah for every single blessing that He's bestowed upon us. Matter of fact, my sisters and brothers, there should never be a moment in the life of a believer, never, remember my words, never a moment in the life of a believer where they express dissatisfaction and they are ungrateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's not possible. You cannot be in this position of faith and say, it's not good. Life sucks. I wish I wasn't born. I wish I wasn't living here. These type of words is kufran al-ni'am. This is rejection of blessings. And when you reject those blessings, Allah doesn't need to keep on pushing those blessings on you. Allah will take it from you and go give it to someone else. مَا يَفْعَلُ اللَّهُ بِعَذَابِكُمْ إِن شَكَرْتُمْ وَآمَنْتُمْ. What will Allah get from punishing you so long that you are grateful to Him, you express gratitude, and you are constantly believing in Him? May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala increase His blessings on all of us. Say Ameen. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us in our progeny from salbun ni'am, from Him snatching His blessings from us. Ameen Rabbil Alameen. Point number 2 to reflect on tonight. The next verse. لا يحب الله الجهر بالسوء من القول إلا من ظلم. You know, we're in a world of media and TV and movies, and I totally get it. I'm not here to give fatwas. But one thing we as consumers of a commercial society fail to understand, is that with indoctrination comes desensitization. We today as a society talk about things that are literally things you should never speak about. Shame has been taken away from our world. I wrote a post on this on Facebook, and I want to talk about it tonight because many know what I'm speaking about. There was a series on HBO known as Game of Thrones. A lot of people were talking about it amongst the Muslims. And alhamdulillah, I never watched it because I don't have HBO, but my question is, when you read about this series, what Game of Thrones is about, it is open immorality, lewdness, fahisha, killing, demoralizing, but people talk about it as if it's normal because it's trending in society. Allah is saying here, لا يحب الله الجهر بالسوء من القول. How can you speak about the evils and wickedness? Allah dislikes it. It comes in a hadith that the Prophet Muhammad said, a person commits a sin at night, and only him or her and maybe someone else know about it. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Urdu mein kehte na parda poshi. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has concealed this sin from the masses. Because at the end of the day, whatever sin you commit, there should be some level of remorse and shame. It's human nature. But guess what? If we were to kill that sense of remorse and shame, in Urdu they call it zamir, the thing in your heart that makes you say, you know what, this is wrong. And that's exactly what's happening in our society. We could talk about things, we can joke about things, we can use language and expressions which are not acceptable for any human being, especially a believer. But it's okay, it's the norm, and that's exactly what I'm saying. We have been desensitized, where we can no longer see right for right and evil for evil. So the hadith says a person commits sin at night, and only them or maybe someone else knows about this. And Allah conceals the sin. Allah conceals this sin. And this person goes in the morning and brags about the sin. Allah dislikes this. This is the most despicable state, that your Lord had enough love for you that He conceals your fault, and today you're going about talking about it openly. There was a time when you can say that if Allah was to conceal one of our illnesses, our weaknesses, or our sins to humanity, or if Allah was to tattoo it on our forehead, that you did so and so, forget covering it, we would not get out of the bed. We'd be in so much shame that our head would not separate from the mattress. The pillow would be on our head and we'd be under the mattress. That's how much shame we'd have. Today, the society is changing. And don't blame this on society or the time or the country. Blame it on the fact that we as believers haven't upheld what was moral and what was good. When you give way, it's going to come through. So what happened now? We're living in a time where people brag about things. They brag about the sins that they've committed, the acts of disobedience that they have performed. Why? Because it's considered good in our times. لا يحب الله الجهر من القول من السوء لا يحب الله الجهر من السوء بالقول من السوء إلا من ظلم وكان الله عليما حكيما. Allah does not like a person to speak about evilness and wickedness openly, except for the person who's been transgressed. If someone has transgressed your rights, if someone has violated your life and the sacredness of your life, you should expose them. You should speak about it because this is unacceptable. Moving along to the third point. Today we will finish Surah Surah Nisa, the women, and we will enter into Surah Al-Ma'idah inshallah. And this surah, mashallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is addressing quite frequently, repetitively, the people of the book. He is addressing the Christians and the Jews and the Christians. He is addressing the claims that they have made, only to level the playing field, so that you and I never become such that we say, we're Muslim, we're better. We're Muslim, we're chosen. We're Muslim, we're going to paradise. When the Jews said, for example, in verse, they said, we are the sons of Allah and His beloved. It was a claim that they made. So Allah in the Holy Quran is rebuking them and challenging them. So why does Allah punish you for your sins if He loves you? بَلْ أَنْتُمْ بَشَرٌ مِّمَّنْ خَلَقَ. You're just a creation. Do not walk with superiority complex because Allah has given you a religion that you have embraced because Allah inserted that seed of goodness in your heart. Don't become big-headed. So when Allah addresses the Christians and Jews, brothers and sisters, He's not putting them down. He's not telling us, look, you're better and they're bad. No, as I said 2 nights ago, the people of the book are people who have embraced the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at that time. Any mistakes, any deviation, Allah addressed from the Torah in the Bible and in the Quran for the Torah and the Bible and its people. When they talk about the concept of Trinity and everything else, Allah addressed it in the Quran. Why? Because that concept came about after Isa alayhi salam. So Allah said, don't say this. Why? As they say in Urdu, ye ghar ki baat hai. This is the house talk. We can talk about your siblings to each other in the home and it's not shameful because it's one home. Allah is not trashing them out in the open. Allah is saying within the context of the people of the book, look, let's not do this. So as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is addressing the misconception and the problems that came about after the revelation, after the demise or the passing or the moving of the Prophet, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is also telling us, don't go down that road. A Muslim should never feel that they're better than someone else. It is not befitting for a believer to act in such a way. In this surah, as all the verses address the people of book, is that famous verse that the Islamophobes use against us. لا تتخذ اليهود والنصارى أولياء. Don't take the Jews and the Christians as your friends. This is the translation. Now, number one, the translation is flawed. The translation of a wali is not sadiq. Sadiq is friend. Wali is a confidant, someone you confide in and trust. And a khalil I don't know how to say in English, but Urdu mein kehte hain jigri dost. Someone you hold in your heart, close to your heart. So there are different levels of friendship in the Arabic terminology. There's not just one word fits all. So what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying here, and it's pushed onto us, how could you guys love America and live in America when your Quran tells you not to make the Jews and Christians your friends? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, don't take the Jews and Christians as your allies and confidants who have taken each other as allies or confidants. لا تتخذ اليهود والنصارى أولياء بعضهم أولياء بعض. The ones who have done this. What's the story here? Let me explain to you. As people of different faiths, their differences were apparent. But what they did was they put aside those differences for the sake of economical gain. Because what was happening between Sham and Arabia, the Palestine, Syria region, where business and trade was coming down from, into Arabia, and from Arabia into Yemen, there were a lot of pirates in the desert. A lot of people would be ambushed, their caravans would be looted, their women would be taken hostage. It was really bad. So for the sake of financial security, the Jews and the Christians put aside the differences of their faith for the sake of economic security. And you could say it's a good thing. It sounds like a good thing. But what they did was they allowed the core tenets of their faith to be compromised. So number one, if you do that and you compromise your faith, that's why interfaith is very important, but it's a double-edged sword. When we do interfaith work, we're not going to pander to others that, hey, we love you, you love us. No, this is who we are. We want to explain who we are, why we want to accept who you are. We are not going to talk about our differences here, but we're going to focus on what we can do in common for the betterment of society. I'm not going to start saying Merry Christmas, nor do I want you to say Eid al-Adha, Mubarak, or anything else. We'll practice our own faithful work for some common good. So one reason was Allah told us not to take them as confidants because they compromised the core tenets of their faith when they did it. And number two, the reason Allah is telling us not to take them as our wali, because Allah sent Islam with a model that we grant security and we ensure the stability of societies. We don't need to make compromise. We are here to lead, brothers and sisters. Let that get into our heads now. We are not here to follow. Allah has given us a religion that we will lead through our example. We will show people that goodness. We will take away the insecurity and instability in society and bring forth a time of prosperity and goodness for all. That's what a Muslim is supposed to do. In another verse, when people say to you this verse and say in Surah Ma'idah, it's written that you can take the Jews and Christians as your friends, quotes them the verse in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, لا ينهاكم الله عن الذين لم يقاتلوكم في الدين ولم يخرجوكم من دياركم أن تبروهم وتقسطوا إليهم. Allah does not forbid you from befriending those who do not fight you because of your religion, and they do not take you out of your homes, that you be kind to them. If someone wants to be your friend outside of faith, and they're not pushing you out of your homes or they're challenging your faith, you can befriend them. إِنَّمَا يَنْهَاكُمُ اللَّهُ عَنِ الَّذِينَ قَاتَلُوكُمْ فِي الدِّينِ. Allah only forbids you who fight you because of your religion, and they take you out of your houses. Those are the people who are saying you don't befriend. So there are verses in the Quran that $200 million in America is being spent on Islamophobia. All you and I need to do is understand the context of those verses, understand what it means to us, and understand how we can respond to them with confidence. But moving on to the most important and final part of the story, and this is our fourth point, for those who are coming late. Today we're beginning from the 6th juz beginning, and inshallah we'll complete a quarter way into the 7th juz. We will be completing Surah An-Nisa, the women, and we will be entering into the tablecloth, Surah Ma'idah. Now there's something very interesting that happened here. إِذْ قَالَ الْحَوَارِيُّونَ يَا عِيسَى بْنَ مَرْيَمَ. Isa alayhi salam, as a prophet, was yearning for his disciples. He is one of the first messengers that we can see in the holy text that created this system of Sahaba. The companions are constantly with you. They reinforce the message that you have. Musa alayhi salam had Bani Israel. He was trying to pull them out. But they were not companions. They were his people. Yunus alayhi salam, it was his people. But Isa alayhi salam, as it was recited in the verses of the Quran yesterday, when Isa alayhi salam sensed kufr from them, he sensed that they were hesitant. He said, Man ansari ila Allah? Who are my helpers for Allah? قال الحواريون نحن أنصار الله. The Hawariyun, the close people to him, said, we are God's helpers to you. So what you would assume, let's put this in context with our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, is the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is with Abu Bakr and Umar and Uthman and Ali and Mu'ad ibn Jabal and Abbas and Abdullah ibn Abbas and Abdullah ibn Umar, some great companions. How many of us put your hands up and say that we feel that they would do wrong to him? How many of us feel that they would do wrong to the religion? So this is what happened here. Going back to Isa alayhi salam, the people that were near and dear to him and close to him, they one day came and asked him, O Isa ibn Maryam, the Hawariyun said, O Isa ibn Maryam, can your Lord bring down a tablecloth from the heaven? You're with a prophet who brings life to dead. The dead people, he brought life to them. He would make a bat or a bird in the sand and it would become into a real thing. He would heal the blind and the leper. You are his Hawariyun, you are his Sahaba. You're seeing all this. You have the audacity to ask, can your Lord bring down food from heaven? قَالَ اتَّقُوا اللَّهِ. He said, fear Allah. Don't say that. They said, no, we just want to see it, want to eat it, want to be thankful to Allah for this. Like, we think we deserve some perks because we're close to you. So as he's trying to tell them, look, don't do this, and he's saying, no, we have good intentions. There's a question that Ibrahim alayhi salam asked Allah, how do you bring the dead back to life? His question wasn't in a derogatory fashion or in a method that he was doubting Allah. His question was, Allah, I want to know more. I want to submit and embrace you more. Their question was kind of doubt. So Allah said, Inni munazziluha alaykum. Okay, Isa, finish. I'm sending it down. فَمَنْ يَكْفُرْ. Whoever now rejects Allah, I will punish them in a way that I have not punished anyone ever before. فَإِنِّي أُعَذِّبُهُ عَذَابًا لَا أُعَذِّبُهُ بِهَا أَحَدًا مِنَ الْعَالَمِينَ. I'm going to take them down. If you want something, I'll give it to you. But when I give it to you, and now you turn on me, I'm going to come down with vengeance. Every people of a prophet, जिन्होंने मुंह मांगा मोजज़ा, कहते हैं ना मुंह मांगा मोजज़ा, they asked for this mu'jiza. We want it. They wanted the camel to come from the mountain pregnant and give birth to a camel. Allah gave it to them. But what did they do then? They killed it. When they killed it, Allah destroyed them. Allah annihilated their land. It's done. So brothers and sisters, I'll conclude by saying one thing on this point. Be careful what you ask Allah for. Be careful what you ask Allah for. And never challenge religion, the people of religion, on religion, or mock the holy text. Because the end result, I'll just leave it there. The end result is what it is. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us all. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide our hearts. May Allah allow us to embrace the beauty of faith and connection to Him. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us from doubt and rejection. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله